Hello internet, I hope you guys are having a great day, and today we are going to be looking at r/pics because it has been just exploding to levels that I personally have just never seen before. It is like election time type of interaction on this subreddit, and guess what? It is all political. And before we get to looking at the posts, I just wanted to show you guys what I mean by this. And we are going to be looking at a lot of the ones that you see today, but just look at the interaction and engagement, 225,000, 191,000. And if we just keep scrolling down, it is just all, except for this one, of course, but it is just all politics, nothing but politics from top to bottom. And of course, we're going to be looking at the comments for all these, but Jesus, I might have to make this 2 videos. Okay, just an onion. All right. And then right back to politics. Yep, Musk, blah, blah, blah. White House. Oh, yep, the Palisades from California's horrible management. And there is way more, but I am actually going to be making 2 videos today on this subreddit, and I'm still combing over all the comments. There's just so many fucking comments, but I've just been gathering y'all's subreddit suggestions, and we will definitely be going over those. Like I said, continuing, I don't really have a week anymore. Like every day I just work and then wake up, so I get lost, sorry. But I will definitely be shouting out whoever suggested it, and even though it may not be the first person to suggest it, sorry if it isn't, I will be shouting you out as the person who made the suggestion. But anyway, on to the posts. Alright, so our first post, which you guys probably saw, is of Charlottesville, and this was a pretty popular picture to come out of that time during 2017. Which, by the way, is 7 years old, so someone is still trying to karma farm this picture. But anyway, 225,000. And let me just say now, LARPing as a Nazi is some of the most cringe shit you could do. Please do not do that. I cringe just as hard at like Hassan and fucking Vosh's community when they LARP as fucking commies and, I don't know, revolutionaries. It's just fucking gross. Like your pussy bitch leader fucking killed himself in a basement instead of actually facing, you know, the army that he was the one to initially instigate. I could not goon over someone who not only has a singular ball, but acts like it. But I do have to draw the line at political violence. Like, this can escalate very quickly. And I think randomly punching someone in their face for what they believe will not only radicalize them further, but spits in the face of America as a country and as a place full of ideas that are meant to be challenged, you know, with better ideas. But anyway, enough of the moral grandstanding. Let's get to the comments. Holy shit, this one had 7,000, almost 8,000 upvotes, and it got removed by a moderator. And so did this one, 4,000. Same here. Love seeing the neo-Nazis getting humbled. Oh, they were probably calling for violence, that's why. Maybe you shouldn't do that. You saw what happened to r/white people Twitter recently. Dude looks like a 4chan user. You know what's funny about this? In another context, I could definitely see this guy being like a Reddit mod or some shit. Holy shit, it happened again. Just another barrage of comments getting completely deleted. And again, holy hell. I think after white people Twitter deletion, they have just been going nuts in terms of moderation so that the government doesn't come for them. A certain voter base is extremely offended by someone punching a Nazi. You know, I think every voter base should be, you know, a little concerned because you could be next. You guys may cheer if the Nazis get gunned down in the street, but wait until the commie revolutionists are next. Then it won't be so funny, huh? But can we talk about for a second how these people just absolutely get off for going after the like lowest hanging fruit? I think an extremely strong majority of Americans absolutely don't like Nazis and most certainly wouldn't vote for one. But then when you call anyone right-leaning a Nazi, it kind of defeats the purpose of your message, and it obfuscates who the real enemies of America are. Like, I'm sure these people would equate this dude to Ben Shapiro, even though they're on completely different, you know, aisles of the political spectrum. But anyway, let's continue. Now this one is interesting because apparently someone flew the flag upside down, and this got 191,000 upvotes, and apparently it is a sign of distress. But you know what? Let's go find an article to see what it's actually about. So this was done outside of regular office hours. Under the US flag code, the stars and stripes should never be displayed with union down, except as a signal of dire distress in instances of extreme danger to life or property. The Department of State is likely to come under further pressure to comment on the legitimacy of the photo and if it is genuine, how the flag came upside down. Musk has previously called for cuts to a federal government spending up to $2 trillion, making further tensions with some federal employees all but inevitable. And I like how right here it has a fairness meter. Newsweek is committed to journalism that's factual and fair. And this landed on unfair left-leaning. Yeah, it doesn't actually give any, actual reasoning or whatever for who did this or why. It just stated that it happened. But of course, this resonated very strongly with Redditors who literally think the country is going down in flames as we currently speak. It was taken at 2 p.m. before they figured it out and changed it back February 5th. Oh, okay. So it was either a mistake or some random employee or whatever decided to, make a statement. I like that we're leveling up our karma farming ability. Guys, we aren't even a month in. This is just the beginning. No worries, lots of other stuff we can turn upside down. Oh boy, the revolutionary's back at it again. Don't you guys have a well-armed militia just for that? Isn't that the whole reason why you tolerate the school shootings? Who the fuck tolerates school shootings? What are we talking about? That's part of the delusion that those types have, the belief that some citizens with handguns and rifles are going to be any kind of threat to the United States Armed Forces. Like, it's farcical. It's a delusional belief. Dude, do you know how fucking insane it would be for the federal government to try to do some, state takeover? Even with the military, the amount of chaos that would cause. Like, you're basically just destroying your entire economy at that point. So, what are you gonna do? And also, I don't think the military members would be very, happy about doing any of it either. I feel like they would realize that it's a huge government overreach and probably not even participate in whatever, the random leaders would want. The amount of effort and resources and pushback that it would take to unarm the population of the United States would just be absolutely insane. Like, we have all these tanks, drones, bombs, whatever, and yet we still weren't able to control the Middle East, who is way less technologically developed than us and has way less guns than us. So what do you think the military is gonna do? Sure, maybe in 1770s our government conceived of an armed populace being a threat to the government and something to keep the government in line, but come on, no rational human being thinks individually armed, untrained people are any match for modernized tanks, drones, aircraft, and the thousands of trained personnel in the US Armed Forces. Did you guys forget about what happened on January 6th at the Capitol and how the quote-unquote government almost got overthrown? Wasn't that the narrative that you were pushing? And most of the people there were absolutely not trained or even armed for that matter. The only person who died was that woman who was beating on the glass and got shot by a pistol. But I mean, let's think about it. How many people are actually making decisions in the US government versus how many citizens there actually are? We even saw Korea try it, and Korea doesn't have guns. And, the martial law thing did not go well for that guy. I don't know what's happening over there, but it's not good for him. But I think this just goes back to the Biden meme of we have, F-150s or whatever, so you have no chance. But yeah, in that scenario, there is just no winning for the people or the government, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think, though. A national flag flown upside down at full mast is the international sign for hostile presence or great distress or danger. Source: this happening outside the U.S. State Department is no joke. 37,000 upvotes, Gigameister. Yeah, I think if it was, reversed a few hours later, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It only took 2 weeks for this to happen because y'all are fucking freaking out. It has nothing to do with what's actually happening. Like, let's be honest, my life has not changed a single bit since this happened, and it's probably the same for most of you, unless you have a government job, of course. But that is not the case for most people. And in terms of federal funding, if your job actually does bring value to the government, I do hope you get to keep it. But I guess we'll see where the cards fall once all the pausing resumes. Protect whoever made that decision. Or, just fire them because they're going against their contract. Whoops. Painting over core values at the FBI. 185,000 upvotes. Do I see diversity? Why is diversity a core value at the FBI? I thought your job was to stop the domestic terrorists or pedophiles or whatever. If you didn't tell me this was an FBI building, I would have thought it was in any high school in the US. I know, right? And they say that the adults were back in the room. Oh yeah, bringing back that prison gray. I mean, why do we care what fucking color the walls are inside of the FBI building or whatever? I'm glad that Redditors have their priorities straight. 185,000 upvotes, reminder. Bro is using a roller without a tray, just sticking in the bucket. These are truly dark times. Oh, I didn't notice that. That is actually kind of detestable. What the fuck? Who did they hire? You know how blotchy it's gonna be? Gross. New core values: loyalty, unwavering loyalty, blind loyalty, unquestioning loyalty, and obey. You know what's really funny about the unquestioning part is that you literally can't question any of the DEI stuff without being labeled a racist. The irony is showing its head again. This image will become part of history, just like every image that shows up on r/pics. Trudeau announcing retaliatory tariffs on the United States. Look at this man, he just looks completely broken. 137,000 upvotes. But correct me if I'm wrong, I think the reason that Trump put the tariffs on Canada was to slow the incoming, fentanyl that was coming into the country through the northern border. And then they agreed later, 2 days later, I think, to actually focus on doing that, and then they got paused. So, this isn't exactly the Trudeau win that fucking Reddit thinks it is. And also, 1 in 4 Canadian kids go to school hungry, so I don't know why they, goon for Canada so much. It isn't this liberal haven that they think it is. A trade war between US and its closest allies. Absolutely unthinkable 10 to 15 to 20 years ago. You know how drastically things can change in 10, 15, or 20 years? Especially now with the age of technology? I'm not saying we should start beef with our allies, but I mean, the Soviet Union was once allies with the United States. And I know the Soviet Union isn't like Canada. I mean, maybe Canada's a little closer to the Soviet Union than we would like. But, it's not just a once you're my ally forever type of deal. Why are we doing these tariffs on Canada, the longest peaceful border with the least ill will among people and governments on either side going back a long time? Why? Oh my god, yep. We're gonna look at this post too, but apparently Melania was just talking to Trudeau. Okay, here's the context for it.
Trudeau air-kissed Melania. That innocent moment became...
Oh my god, are you serious? Did Redditors forget that, French people exist? This might actually be the reason 5.2 thousand upvotes. Oh my god, dude, pull your head out of your ass. White House Chief of Staff's face after Donald Trump announces the US will take over Gaza, which is, by the way, absolutely insane. 132,000 upvotes. But he actually clarified yesterday, because this was 2 days ago, that he intends to rebuild Gaza, quote unquote. But at the same time, why? Why are we doing this, Trump? What happened to America first? And like I said, I'm not partisan by any means. I just go on Reddit. So of course, most of the fucking opinions on this site are going to be heavily left-leaning. But as we covered the new Trump presidency, I am of course going to point out where we are fucking up. Because unlike Redditors, I actually want our country to be good, and I don't really care who does it. So I just see this as a massive L, and I don't know, maybe they can explain why this is a good thing and in America's interest, but I really doubt they're going to come up with anything substantial. But again, I like the framing. They always frame it in the worst way possible. I could see this on a right-wing subreddit, well, the few that exist, or on Twitter where this woman looking at Trudeau being like, what the fuck are you doing, all I would have to do is change the title and it would be a completely different framing of what's happening. But anyway, let's get on to the posts. Reminds me of the injecting bleach picture. Yeah, so if you guys remember this, he actually never said bleach, ever, even though the media was, parading over and over that this is exactly what he said. And he didn't even make a suggestion to quote unquote inject bleach. He was just basically yapping about the, potential medical things that could be possible when curing COVID or whatever. He was obviously speaking from the perspective of a layman and was just like, yeah, we're just gonna have to consult the medical professionals on the options. And that was that. But no, years and years and years later, they are still pushing the injecting bleach narrative. 15,000 upvotes. Option 1, Trump has dementia and just says crazy shit. I would have never seen this on Biden on Reddit. Option 2, Trump doesn't have dementia and just says crazy shit to get a reaction. Now, like I've said before, I think Trump is a wannabe populist, so he just says something like this just to see how the general population will react, and then he plans accordingly. Now, is this a very professional way of going about things? Absolutely not. And I think it is what, gives him the bad reputation of putting his foot in his mouth a lot of times. But is it effective? 100%. And you guys prove it every single time. Option 3, Trump doesn't have dementia and means what he says. I'm not sure which is most terrifying. Now, I'm not saying we should do this, but let's be as critical as possible. Would Gaza be better in the hands of America and a lot of Middle Eastern countries? Would they be better with the laws of America? Probably, because we have America and America is the best fucking country on earth. Just because I have a problem with the way our government handles things doesn't mean I don't think we have built one of the most effective systems for guaranteeing people freedom on the planet. And we've built one of the most diverse places through merit. But as you can tell, that has had a giant wrench thrown in it, and our healthcare sucks. But we're giving it our best. The country isn't retarded, it's just our leaders, I promise. Lamau, she might lose her job if everyone starts talking about this. Trump would not handle that well. His ego is as fragile as Homelander's. Oh my god, dude. R.I.P. The Boys, man. I used to love that show, and now it's... holy shit, now it's just basically a propaganda farm. God, why does it have to ruin everything? I want my media back. Sadly, this is how I look at all the Republicans in my family now, because I'm sure, talking to them is too difficult for you. But to be fair, TDS can be strong, and so can fucking Trump love. Like, the people who actually worship him are fucking cringe as well. I just like him because he's the fucking content president, and I do agree with, quite a bit of what he says, but like I said, he is not perfect by any means, and I really wish we had another candidate, and I wish we had another fucking Democrat candidate too. Like, I want two good options, not like literally the bottom of the barrel. I don't think chaos is good for America or any country. Spray painted at our local Target this morning. Trump is a rapist. 80,000 upvotes. And this is also like a giant litmus test for if the person is actually being good faith about what they're talking about, because there is no evidence, and he wasn't even prosecuted criminally for rape. It literally civilly went down to, I think, sexual assault and battery, but even then, this happened like 40 years ago, so obviously there is no actual real tangible evidence for any of this actually occurring, just hearsay. Which is by no means enough evidence for anybody in any situation to be prosecuted. But yeah, lying is really easy as long as it goes along with your narrative. As we know, his voters don't care, or, they know the facts about the situation that you seem to, choose to ignore. I don't disagree, yet the spray painter is still an idiot, minus 216 downvotes. You just made some minimum wage employee, possibly an immigrant, stand out in the cold to clean this, and Trump will never read this, but reached a settlement with ABC because they made this claim. Maybe try another angle. Ooh, true. Minus 261. Didn't a judge make the claim? Well, let's go find out. ABC News has agreed to pay $15 million towards Donald Trump's presidential library to settle a defamation lawsuit over the anchor George Stephanopoulos' inaccurate on-air assertion that the president-elect had been found civilly liable for raping writer E. Jean Carroll. Anchor? Okay, so he was a co-anchor working for ABC. Okay, so I don't see anywhere where he was a judge, so what the fuck? So a judge made the declaration in July 19th, 2023, but this article was December 14th. And I think the final settlement already concluded that it was sexual assault and not rape. I think it's bullshit, but obviously this is not the case. They are leaving out all the context as usual. But anyway, I'm going to leave it on that and come out with another video soon on r/pics, because as you saw, there were so many posts. So I hope you guys are ready for that, and on to the patrons. Thank you to our based gods, XX Schisms XX, and your local Inquisitor. And thank you to our base legends, Kada, Yodu Emiya, Triple X Medic, Mr. Praria, and Andrew P. And thank you to our super base, Shadow Dow, Devin Dekron, Contranock, Redzi, Aziz Deglee, Pimtool, Joseph Miller, Zach Orange, P. Frimgar, Wyatt P., Seth M., and Mr. Shank. And thank you to our base certified, Blown Bliat, 7.62, Crowbon, Joker Gaming, Nathan Quinn, Matthew M., Doo-Wop Diggy, Blom Green, Tom, Matthew Armstrong, Thomas Lehman, Rezu Jordan, Arcturus51, Worm, Serbian Sickle, Terry, Turkey Dog, Easy Joe, Levy Velasco, Crow Eater, 1836, Filler, Hilde, Joe Billy, Crocodilus, Wes, Snidler, Cog Ghosted, Clan of One, Luca Bro, Sean S, 8 Monkey, and Borovkovi Florianic 3000. And if you guys have actually spent $10 and I just didn't realize it, just send me an email and I will certainly fix it, or shoot me a message on Discord and I will get that taken care of. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day and I will see you a little later. Peace.